Hey guys, back here again with Ocey Phillips, and this time I have created a digital transformation canvas. Right? I keep looking around, there was nothing like it. I thought that I had the experience and the skill set to develop it. It's going to be a live document, and this document would obviously change over a period of time, but the core foundation, the core principles surrounding it would remain the same. Right? As I say, like there's nothing there that's providing a lighthouse for businesses to navigate these choppy seas. If you Google digital transformation, you would see about 6 different definitions for it. Some people tell you you should look at enterprise, this, that. Some tells you that you should look at business models, processes, culture, and domain. And it's a bit confusing. The bigger part to it is that there isn't much things concerning digital transformation that's localized to the Caribbean region. So here I am. Ta-da! I have created this transformation canvas. Now it looks different from a business model canvas, but we're going to dive right into it and show you why this canvas is of value to all businesses, every single business, no matter if you already started going through digital transformation, or even if you're now looking to go into digital transformation, you need this canvas, right? Now let's dive right in. So it may be confusing, but we're going to start from the top and then we're going to come down. So on the top, we have transformation, holistic response, innovation, value, and enterprise, right? The initials for all of those things spell thrive. And this is how we look at businesses thriving during this time. A lot of businesses are closing down. A lot of businesses are not sure where to go, and they're just there floating, right? So first of all, transformation, you need to look at what your business is going to be. And as I always say, transformation should not look like your old business, all right? Your new business should have a totally different business model. That is in its purest form what transformation is, right? There's nothing in a butterfly that says it was a caterpillar, right? How do you look at your business holistically? What is the response to the change in the environment, the changes in your industry, the changes in technology, and everything that affects your business model? How do you innovate? Not just innovate as a word. So people will say, oh, I'm just being innovative. There's a part of innovation that has something to do with invention and creating something brand new. So the type of innovation that I think that is best for this is something that's called combinatorial digital innovation. I'll say it again. Combinatorial digital innovation. It means that how do you combine existing technologies or emerging technologies together in a unique way that adds value to you and your industry, your niche, your target market, and you'll be able to over-deliver in value to your ideal clients. Value. People throw around the word value day and night. It's a buzzword. It's one of those buzzwords that I don't like. But I think value is perceived. I think people buy where perceived value exceeds price. So we need to step up on that value as a company and deliver. Digital transformation is the age of the customer. And then enterprise, from an enterprise standpoint, how do you look at everything, right? Show the whole value chain of the business, and you will get down to that in the bottom, right? This is just the process. As I say, this will guide you. So digital transformation is the process. And then after that, you're looking at a digital business. So there, I have already done the digital business model canvas, so that after you get through here, you're now going to look at where you should be or where your business should be. So I've given you guys all the info here. You basically getting it all free. And you have everything here that you would possibly need from a high level, and then you could break it down going forward. These documents are a lighthouse for people navigating the choppy digital seas, as I always say. Right, so we're getting into it. In the immediate left, we have change management, and change management will cover every single subset of this, because everything is maybe change. A lot of people don't know how to manage change. There's a way to manage change. It depends on your market and your industry, but we all need to manage how we navigate the change in our different businesses, right? You can just walk up to staff and say, hey, we're going to implement this after they've been doing one thing for the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years, right? So you jump into the first part, culture transformation. A lot of people would have heard the saying, culture eats strategy for lunch or dinner or breakfast, lunch or dinner. And we've seen it everywhere. We've seen it from governments. We've seen it from internal businesses, that you could come up with a strategy, but unless you totally understand how that culture responds or how that culture behaves and tie that to your strategy, then 9 out of 10 times, or probably 10 out of 10 times, you're going to be eaten for lunch, right? So what you have to ask, what are your internal values? Are they still valuable for a digitally transformed company, right? Culture, what do people believe in? Are they upset when something changes? What are the type of staff that you have? What is the culture that you promote? Do you promote an open culture? A lot of people have all these values and way that people operate companies, and the truth is that does not match the culture, because people don't embody it, people don't live it day to day. Right? A lot of people still in organizations walk around with an ego, who don't think that people could talk to them, stuff like that. Right? So first of all, a culture transformation should start with an assessment. Then you should look at the necessary training and coaching. I don't mean bringing a consultant and pay them thousands of dollars. It could also mean that you send people to do online courses, or small little certifications online. Coaching, you need to find the correct coach. I beg you, please do not go and just pick up somebody who says they're a coach. Look at their body of work, look at the content that they put out, make sure that it's aligned with where you want your business to go, and find the proper coach. Take as much time to find the best coach. You need to have an integration strategy. How are you going to slowly roll out on this so that staff don't get overwhelmed with their existing duties, and cutting over into new changes? And most importantly, communication. Clear, transparent communication. Let people know what they're getting into, right? Digital readiness. A lot of people just think that, yeah, right, we're doing digital transformation. And I've heard it plenty times over the past year. People come on webinars and they just say things to sound good, right? We need businesses to stop before they move. Everybody is in a reactive mode. Hey, COVID hit, we need to do ABCD. No, stop for 2 seconds and then assess your readiness, right? So from an employer standpoint, is your C-level, is your management teams ready for this? Are your other employees ready, right? So we got to check your readiness of your employees, right? Check the level of readiness in the organization undergoing anything digital, whether it's a change or transformation, anything. But you have to know if they're ready. So when you assess that, then you have a benchmark, and then you know, all right, who needs what? Can't just come with a blanket training and train everybody. It's not going to be productive for your entire business, right? So look at one, digital potential that the people have. What are their proficiency? You have to do a next assessment again, right? On the digital side, you have to look at what are their digital acumen, right? How much people are good at Facebook? How much people are good at other things? How much people are good at Google, or part of the suite of Google, right? And then first and last and not least, we're looking at leadership. And of course, digital engagement. Not because somebody is good at using some sort of social media, that means they're good at digital engagement. So if you're looking at a document like this, these are the things that you should research and see how it's tied to your business. But when I break down this transformation canvas in a video by itself, meaning that digital readiness would be one video, culture transformation would be one video, and I'll get more granular into it, right? Then in the interim, we're looking to become a digital workplace, right? So you're studying the culture, assessing the culture first, how will they change and react? Then you look at the readiness of the other parts of the organization. Then we're into a digital workplace, right? And this really is the transformation of work processes and systems, right? Driven by the need to improve employee engagement to reduce turnover and maintain competitive workforce. I mean, that do you want to add in an intranet, a portal? Are you going to get on to SharePoint? Is it still going to take people 4 and 5 weeks to get a pay slip? This type of things. How are you going to digitize processes? A lot of people get into things like enterprise content management and digitizing these things. How do we become a digital workplace? Remote working. This is a huge problem because gone in the past few years, managers are taught to manage results or manage outcomes. And a lot of older management techniques will tell people that they need to see people or they just need to probably technically micromanage them. I feel like if they're seeing them in the same place, that's the only way that they could justify that they're coming to work and they should pay them. But the truth is that people coming to work and has been less productive than if they're home, right? So remote working, finding the right balance for your team is there to also maintain productivity. There's productivity tools, etc. Cybersecurity is important now that people are not just bring your own devices onto a network, but people are home connecting to internet that maybe have multiple networks, multiple devices on a network, which could be more than an entry point for people to steal information or get into your system, right? How do you manage projects in a digital workplace? What digital infrastructure you may need, whether it's to beef up your ICT, beef up servers, beef up cloud solutions, and communication tools to make sure that the culture, right, is still there and productivity is still there throughout multiple departments, right? And we have process transformation. How to digitize the processes a little bit more in a more granular way. And there's different types of processes. There's internal processes, external processes, and also processes with change. Mainly because processes are what drive businesses. When you build processes into a system, even if people come or people go, the process is still there. And once they follow it, that would in turn deliver a result or a product or a service that you could sell to a customer. So that is important. So you're looking at business process management. How do we just digitize it or digitalize the process? Because there's a difference, right? We step it into enterprise content management, as I say. How do we re-engineer some processes to get us there in the meantime while we find new processes for what the business is going to become? And how do we automate certain things? How do we route documents between staff, making sure that only certain people have visibility to staff to certain documents? How could they sign and not sign? Stuff like that, right? And everything that is done here should revolve around people, process, and technology. Doesn't matter if you're digitally transforming, people are the multiplier, people are the greatest thing that you could find. Secondly, processes, once you get those things right, no matter what people that you have, you would at least get a certain percentage of the outcome. And then we have technology. Once the technology is there, once that technology is there, the right technology for the right business, technology has to be fit for purpose, not just let's buy the shiny Salesforce or the shiny CRM that says it's nice because other people talk about it, but they are in a different industry, right? And all of this should be tied into your business model. Your business model is how you generate product or service, whatever, deliver it to a customer and get paid for it. So a business model is customer facing. Below you'll see operational model or operation model. That is how do you internally do things. And then we go down, all right? And then we go to digitization. And this is the process of converting information from physical format to a more user-friendly computer system, right? So what do you have to digitize? Is it forms? Is it you make an electronic form for somebody to submit now? Like insurance companies have done motor code pages, they put that online now. KYC processes for some financial institutes, forms in terms of invoices, in terms of receipts, in terms of different, there's a lot of things to digitize, right? And then we will jump across to digitalization. And this is the process of harnessing the power of digitization to optimize business processing, right? So one, converting information from physical to something digital. And then the other one is how do you harness the power from that? So now that this invoice is digital, now that this whatever is digital, this form, this sign up, this part of the business, now that these things are digital, how do we harness the power of that? And that is dependent on your business, the type of staff that you have. If you have consultants, who do you work with? All of these things are different. Now, what affect digitalization, right? And then we're going to look at the value chain. How do you digitize and digitalize your value chain, right? Meaning, value chain is how internally the steps that you take to generate this whatever product or service. Everything that has a part to play with should essentially be a part of your value chain. So value chain for HR would be, all right, do you have HR internally or do you outsource it? Do we look to move to an HR system to automate or to digitize our HR processes of pay slips and stuff like that? So should we go to something like Bamboo HR or HRM that 800TT has, or 800 Tech, sorry, stuff like that. Finance, how do you digitize pay slips? Are you using AX? Are you using different types of, or using QuickBooks for smaller businesses? How do you digitize all of that? Inventory, everything to do with finance, whether it's ledgers and going on the whole accounting part of it, everything that ties into it, to your EBITDA and your profit and loss statements. So receipts, accounts receivables, the whole 9 yards. Legal, how do you digitize contracts or legal parts of it? Are you using DocuSign? Are you using e-sign for people to come and put in an electronic signature, which takes time from somebody having to come in the office and sign a form, right? Marketing, how do you digitize it? There's different stuff. Digital marketing tools are out there. You could close the eye and pick a tool. There's thousands of tools out there. So what does that look like digital? IT, how do you go up the value chain with IT? Do you need to bring in more staff? Sales, this is always a tricky one. Are you looking to go into digital sales or telesales? Do you outsource it to a call center somewhere? TSTT, a direct one, all the other call centers across the Caribbean. Procurement, how do you do that? Do you have an e-procurement portal like TSTT does? And how do you digitize or increase or better the value chain of your entire operation, right? If you're starting here as a retailer, could digitalization or digitization cause you to cut out the middleman or two of the men in the middle, bringing you closer? Could you now transform your business into being a supplier rather than a retailer? Does that change your operational model, which in effect change your business model, right? So the transformation of all these things digitally means that where your company sits in the value chain now should be higher, because we're dealing with a global village that you have to supply. And where do you sit in the value chain? Do you still have to wait on somebody to manufacture it and then sell it to you and then you resell? Then chances are that your business is no longer bound by a location in a high traffic place in a town, a city, or a mall. Means that the manufacturer could now be doing B2B but also be doing B2C and cut you out. Then you have zero business, right? So these are the things that you need to look at. If I'm a manufacturer and I could show up a B2B site and people buy it directly from me without me having to have any headache, then by all means, I would sell direct to consumer, but also still sell you, right? And then how do you digitize and transform your domain, right? Meaning that when within all this digitalization, could you create a new product or service? When you scan your business, everything that you're seeing with the opportunity that is there, could you start a new service? Meaning, how do I find an example? There's not much examples out there, but if you have a business and you digitize it and now you say you have 2 staff, With that two staff, you have excess material or excess data, or you have data, or you're supplying something to a company, and being the supplier of that person, you're supplying it to people and people don't know what to do with it. Could you then say, all right, I have all this data, I have all this information here. What could I do with it? Could I bundle it as a strategy and sell it now instead of selling raw data? Because a lot of people could capture data, but they can't mine it and know what to do with it. So should I sell it in the form of a strategy? Should I package it and sell it to other people who would need this type of consumer information? Right? Look at excess material or skills and see, could you monetize? That comes from all the assessments that you did earlier in your staff. So if you have staff that has cross-functional skills and things have automated now and staff are more free, and you could now create a new product or a service, boom, you're good. That in itself is a different type of innovation. And that is the kind of thinking that businesses need. Right? Could you monetize your existing data? If you have high traffic or people just come into your site and you have huge customer data in different industries, what could you sell them? What products could you add on? Right? Products always come in a bundle. Everything that you sell has some fall off of it. If somebody sells cars, somebody could sell tires alone, somebody could sell accessories, somebody could sell car wash stuff, somebody could sell engine parts stuff, somebody could sell different things. Right? There's always ways to look at it. What I love about Amazon is the fact that Amazon thinks this way before anything else. Once they have excess of anything, they would turn it into a product. So lastly, I heard Amazon would have been looking to move into the Ireland space with a data center. Everybody know one of the huge problems with data centers is that the heat that comes out of it, because of the temperature regulations that's needed to keep those servers cool, right? So that produces a lot of heat that's extracted, right? And Amazon was negotiating a deal for 20 years to use that heat and send it straight to towns to heat homes. And they would have gone along the lines of saying that this is a more economic way of doing it. You'd have to burn oil and fossil fuels, no carbon emissions, no damaging the environment. And some people may not even look at things like that. Microsoft was trying to put a data center in the ocean so that the natural temperature of the water would cool it down. And I think that actual project worked out in his favor, right? But this is the type of thinking that we need, right? So again, this whole document could guide you no matter what level you're on. And once you dive deeper into this, you would see what happens. Of course, I'm going to break it down further in additional videos, and of course, they're going to be blogs, right? So stay tuned. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my notifications that's going to be up on the site I'm running just now. We're going to be adding more projects so that you can see some of my past work and some of the new projects that we're on. I'm really excited for 2 digital transformation projects that I'm going to be on across Africa that I am probably going to bring towards this region, and one that I'm doing in this region. So as I grow and I learn and I get more experience in these DT projects, I would share. So stay tuned for that. This channel would also be dedicated to almost anything digital, right? But we all know, just to recap, change management is key to every single part of this. Also, people, process, technology is key to every single part of this. Every single facet, every single subdomain has to do taking into consideration the people that you have or you need, that you need to upskill or source, the process that you have that you need to automate, re-engineer, or you need to create new technology or legacy systems that could work, that could merge, or that needs to be replaced, right? And then you're looking at it from the standpoint, what do I do from an operational model standpoint, meaning internally, how do I go up the value chain and disrupt and gain market share? And from the front-facing side of things, from a business model standpoint, how do I continue to deliver value to my customers and get paid for it? Thank you very much.